my dad had a farm, or was farming in Zeeland. It's a village which is probably 25 miles or more or so from where we ended up. Anyway, when I was 2 weeks old, I was told that the Germans came along and said, we're taking over your place, we're taking over your farm, we're putting in an airstrip, and that's it. Yeah, you know, they had no choice, so they had to leave, and as I said, they ended up in the village called the Rips, and that's where they moved into a chicken coop and lived there for 5 years, I think it was 5, 6 years. But my father went right over to them, and even as a child I remember being afraid that something would happen to him, and anyway, he talked to them for 5 minutes. They seemed to have a very fluent conversation, and he came back and they left. And I do remember him telling me that some of the soldiers were crying that they didn't want any part of this war. They didn't want to fight, they didn't want to do any of the stuff that they were ordered to do, but they had no choice. If they didn't do it, they would simply get shot. It was my brother, my 2 sisters, and myself. I was the youngest. And so, yeah, the 6 of us lived in this small chicken coop. And yeah, we survived it. I have vivid recollections of you know, the bombs going off, and my mother would get us out of bed in the middle of the night and take us into a bomb shelter that my father had built. He had dug a big hole in the ground and covered it over, and we would go in there at night, stay in there for the night, and while the tracers were going over overhead in the sky, and being very afraid, I guess, you know, as a child. So.